Hello, sixth grade. Well, this week, our biggest focus is absolute value. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that means if you haven't already seen the video and figured it out. And we're also going to spend some more time ordering rational numbers from least to greatest and translating kind of verbal real-life expressions to either positive or negative numbers. So a couple of things. I'm going to keep this video quite short, I think, because I want you just to explore on your own. To order rational numbers from least to greatest, we list them in order they appear on the number line from left to right. As you can see from the number line, and you should already be familiar with this, the numbers decrease as you move left and they increase as you move right. So when you're ordering, you put them on here in the same order. And obviously this is for horizontal. If it was a vertical number line, it would decrease going down and increase going up. So we're going to spend a bit of time practicing ordering positive and negative numbers. One of the main things we're also doing is representing different amounts with either positive or negative numbers. And, how we do this really depends a little bit on context. So if we're representing change in a quantity, if the quantity increases, then we call that change positive. If it decreases, we call that change negative. It's also common to represent money we receive with positive numbers and money we spend with negative numbers. There's some other different situations where we can look at positive numbers. This is certainly just a short, not exclusive list. Positive numbers could be represented with some sort of gain or an increase, a credit. If you receive something or money, the word more usually means positive. And if we're talking about elevation above sea level, is positive, and there's many more words that represent positive, and sometimes you have to understand the context of a situation or the sentence to know whether it means positive. So there's lots of words that can be here we can add to this. So in contrast, negative would be loss, decrease, owe, spend, give away, and then of course dealing with elevation below sea level. So you're going to spend some time in the activities today translating to positive and negative numbers. The next main thing that we're looking at is absolute value. So this should be a pretty new term here. Absolute value essentially means the distance a number is from zero. The distance from zero. So the absolute value is always positive. And we have these very important symbols here to mean absolute value. This sentence here, this math sentence, means the absolute value of -2 is +2. And we can represent that with this red line here. The absolute value of 3 is 3 because the distance that 3 is from 0 is 3. We can do a few more here. So if I was going to say the absolute value of -10, what would that be? Well, the distance that -10 is from 0 is 10. The absolute value of 9 would be the distance that 9 is from 0, which is just 9. So you can also make comparisons between absolute value as well. So if I had to compare the absolute value of -12 and the absolute value of -15 by putting an inequality sign between them, I would say the absolute value of -12 is 12. The absolute value of -15 is 15. So this absolute value is less than that. And there's several reasons why absolute value is important. Sometimes we don't care whether a number is positive or negative, but we're interested in the change. This could be true when we're talking about temperatures or money. Maybe I'm more interested in the change rather than the direction of the number, rather than whether it's positive or negative. And again, I don't want to give too much away because I really think you can explore this within the lessons this week. So that's the main thing. This is just the summary showing that we can use elevation to help us compare two rational numbers or two absolute values, which is similar to what I just did here on this previous page. You can compare distances and absolute values because sometimes we're not really interested in whether it's positive or negative. It's less important rather the actual value of it. So below sea level and above sea level could be a good example of that. So anyway, that's it for this week. Like I said, that's the main thing. Absolute value is definitely the main thing to get out of it. These new symbols, that new term, and ordering positive and negative numbers. So enjoy. Thank you.